Hello BookTube, Books with Ben's back again with another really quick video for you today. So I already went through the books that I read in 2022, and now I'm going to go through just real briefly the TV shows that I enjoyed this year. Specifically the TV shows that have some kind of fantasy element, and I'll rank them. There's only 7 entries on this list, and this will be about whatever seasons I watched of any given show. For example, Stranger Things is on here, but just season 4 because that's the only season I watched this year. However, another series that I watched like 4 or 5 seasons of all this year, I'll be taking into consideration all of those seasons. I also should say I won't be spoiling any of these, just giving general thoughts. And I think as few shows as I watched this year, I might even cut back and watch less TV next year, just to try and make a little bit more time for reading. Without any further ado, before I go on too long, if you wouldn't mind and you haven't already, please like and subscribe and share my video with your friends. It would mean a lot to me. Thank you so much. So, without any further ado, now, in 7th place, I'm going to put the Vampire Diaries spin-off series, The Originals. So my fiance and mother-in-law, or future mother-in-law, we watched the show as well as the Vampire Diaries spin-off Legacies. We watched all 5 seasons of Originals, building up to a big trip that we took with some of our friends to Covington, Georgia, where Vampire Diaries and a lot of these shows were filmed. And we kind of just wanted to binge through and burn through this just to make sure we had all of the context and, we're aware of everything that happened in the world and who all the cast members were, where different people's stories ended up, just so we wouldn't be spoiled by things that we found, touristy things we found in Covington. And The Originals, I think, is easily my least favorite of all of these shows. I think it takes itself a little bit too seriously. You lose some of the charm of like the high school or even college student life, kind of young adult life that you get in Vampire Diaries and Legacies. You lose that because it's all just adult characters, but a lot of times they're acting pretty childish. Some of the new characters like Davina, some of the returning Michelson characters, I might have enjoyed them at first, but a lot of times they just become more annoyances that our main cast, the main brothers, have to deal with, and I just didn't find it super compelling or attention-grabbing throughout. So yeah, in 7th place, unfortunately, I think I have to put all 5 seasons of The Originals. Then in 6th place, I think, unfortunately, I have to put The Rings of Power, the Amazon Prime Lord of the Rings kind of prequel, Second Age adaptation interpretation. I didn't hate this like some people did, but I think had some real pacing issues. I think they chose to do a lot of scenes very symbolically and show us a mythic kind of portrayal of what things might have been like, as opposed to a realistic one. But then the next scene would try to be super realistic. So that was just a little uneven. And I mean, at the end of the day, it was a little bit predictable who was going to turn out to be whom by the end. And yeah, it didn't inspire the same kind of awe and wow in me as the actual Lord of the Rings adaptations by Peter Jackson. I do think I preferred the Rings of Power show over Peter Jackson's Hobbit trilogy, though. So I will say, I will give it credit on that. And I think a lot of this show looks really great, so you can see how a big budget helps a show really look fantastic, at least on a production design level. I think sadly 6th place, I'm gonna put Rings of Power season 1. Then in 5th place, I'll put, I mentioned this in the intro, I'll put Stranger Things Season 4. I think this was a very uneven season. I enjoyed everything going on in Hawkins with the introduction of the Eddie character and everything that Max was going through, everything with them exploring the house and parallel kind of plans and missions going on, one in the real world, one in the Upside Down, stuff like that I thought was really, really compelling, really good. But everything in Hollywood or in kind of the West, I was a little bored by. It's the comic relief was fun. but I don't know that that's really the only good thing I can say about it. Even though I enjoyed the reveals and twists that the 11 kind of flashback stuff led to. I really liked the twist and the storytelling there. I just was really bored on the whole journey with 11, going back through her memories in this like floaty tank thing. Um, yeah, I was really bored by that. And I don't know exactly what it was, but everything with Hopper in Russia, the stakes, even though I feel like there should have been like some of the highest stakes of the series, um, I just never felt like, oh no, what's gonna happen next? Like I was never on the edge of my seat in those wintry Russia rescue mission kind of sequences. I just wasn't really a fan of that. I don't really watch Stranger Things so much for the adults as much as I watch for the kids. So yeah, Stranger Things comes in, or season 4 of Stranger Things comes in 5th place. Then in 4th place, I'm gonna put Wednesday. I thought this was or season 1 of Wednesday that just came out on Netflix. I thought this was a good show. I think Jenna Ortega did a really good job portraying the title character. I think they did a really good job at bringing in other elements of Addams Family, kind of nostalgia stuff for fans of Addams Family, but by focusing it on just the one character Wednesday, I think that was a really smart choice. I do think episode to episode, I wasn't like, oh my gosh, I have to find out what happens next. It was just kind of like, okay, that was cute. That was kind of fun, dark humor, dark comedy stuff. Interesting mystery and intrigue there. Everything going on with secret societies and hides and different types of monsters and yeah, it was a cute show, very very Tim Burton-y. I think if you haven't watched it and you're wondering if you should, if you're not really a fan of Tim Burton's style, I don't think the show is going to really work that well for you. But I've always enjoyed Tim Burton well enough. Yeah, again, though, I don't have anything like super emphatic or like super exciting to say like that I really, really loved about the show. I just thought it was really, really solid. So yeah, in 4th place, Wednesday season 1. Then in 3rd place, I think I might have liked this a little more than other people, and I am pretty behind on a lot of kind of Disney Plus shows, Marvel and Star Wars, especially Marvel. I'm super behind on that. You'll notice I don't really have any of those on here. But I did watch the Star Wars show I did watch this year. I watched Kenobi, and I thought it was fine. Sometimes it seemed like, I don't know, like the set design and production design and CGI and just like choreography of stuff, it seemed like they didn't take a lot of takes or do a lot of takes on certain scenes. So it just seemed like the production value was not where I wanted a show all about one of my favorite Star Wars characters to be. That being said, I did really like some elements of it. Like I just love seeing Ewan McGregor as Kenobi again. I thought the young Princess Leia did a really good job acting wise, at least. I enjoyed the flashbacks to Hayden Christensen stuff. I enjoyed him getting to see him don the Vader, outfit or perform more as Vader. All that being said, I would rank this maybe higher. This could have earned a spot in like number 1 if it seemed like Disney actually put the money where they should have with this show and actually reshot some stuff, made some of the CGI look a little better, thought through some of the plotting just a little bit better. It was fine, but not the best Star Wars I've seen, but I do like Star Wars anyway, so anything Star Wars is typically going to rank pretty high on a list like this. So yeah, I'm going to put Kenobi in 3rd place. In 2nd place, higher than I think I ever would have expected, I already alluded to this, but in that build-up to the trip to see where Vampire Diaries was filmed, we watched all of the other spin-off shows, and I loved the show Legacies. It is, I think, so self-aware. It has so much charm in that kind of high school drama sort of way, high school dramedy sort of way, I guess. It pokes fun at itself, but when it needs to be serious, it does actually get really serious. I think all of the actors are actually doing a really, really believable, like convincing job. I think the Necromancer is one of the funniest, richest characters I've ever seen in a TV show, and yeah, I had a blast watching all 4 seasons of this. Especially coming off the tails of what was a little bit of a slog, I felt to get through, especially the last few seasons of the originals. This season, or this series, Legacies, was so fresh, and so original, pun intended, that I couldn't help but just enjoy myself watching episode to episode. Also, the super episodic nature, episode to episode. Also, the super episodic nature, I think the monster of the week kind of nature of the show really made it so I didn't have to worry about the melodrama ever getting too out of hand on any one point. Like, sure, in certain episodes might have been a bit melodramatic and a bit too like high school teen drama-y for me, to CW Riverdale kind of wacky drama, but then the next episode would be a totally hilarious, totally different thing. So yeah, especially if you're a fan of Vampire Diaries, I highly recommend Legacies if you haven't checked it out yet. But then, in first place, and other fantasy fans, this probably isn't super surprising, but I absolutely loved. This is the only season of all of these that I think was like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy with what people are doing on with like fantasy adaptations and fantasy shows on TV. This is the one that I was like really, really excited about, and I'm really, really pleased with, and that is House of the Dragon Season 1, the prequel series to Game of Thrones, based a lot on George R.R. Martin's kind of in-world diegetic history, Fire and Blood book, or a section of that book. House of the Dragon, I think, is so good. I think it moves along at a really quick pace, with several time jumps getting us through, or getting us to the point that civil war is about to break out, and I think it does it in a very convincing way. All of the performances are amazing. If I had one negative, I think I'd actually say I really like the young Rhaenyra and Alicent actresses, and I thought they were absolutely killing it. I think the older actresses did a really good job too, but the young ones, it's a shame that we only get like 5 episodes with them. I would have loved to see maybe a whole season with them, and then like between season 1 and 2, then maybe make that jump there. But yes, I mean, still, like, even once they changed performers, like the performance quality, the acting quality didn't really drop or anything. I just kind of missed how good and how talented some of the younger performers were. And I think Matt Smith, I thought, was a little bit of a weird choice for Damon at first, but he totally won me over as Damon. I think he does a really, really great job. I was also, because of his casting, worried that they were going to make him a little bit more of a main character and Rhaenyra less, but that fear did not come true. Rhaenyra, I think, is easily the best part of the show. Yeah, House of the Dragon. If you're a fan of Game of Thrones, especially, check it out if you haven't. But easily, far and away, my favorite fantasy TV show that I checked out this year. So yeah, all that said, thank you so much for watching. As we move into this new year, I hope everyone has a lot of excitement going into their new reading plans, new fantasy TV shows that might come out this year, movie adaptations, TV adaptations, what have you. I know I'm certainly excited that hopefully maybe we'll see a Wheel of Time season 2. I don't know. The first season was a little bit of a mixed bag, but I'm excited to see where we go next. I'm excited to see if House of the Dragon season 2 returns, what Rings of Power season 2 might do. I'm really excited for all of this stuff, even though in a lot of cases some of the shows didn't wow me as much as I wanted them to. I'm also probably at some point this year going to check out Andor, the Star Wars series. Everyone and their mother has told me that it is amazing and some of the best Star Wars they've ever seen. So yeah, I'm really excited to finally get into Andor this year. If there's any big shows that I missed that you think I would really, really enjoy, please comment those down below. What were some of your favorite shows of 2022? What shows are you looking forward to in 2023? Thanks again so much for watching. Have a good day. Bye.